This is a PSA to get your kids tested for ADHD, please. And get a second opinion as well, which I really wish my parents would have done for me. Now, my story is probably like a lot of females, because back in the 90s, early 2000s, there wasn't much science on ADHD in girls. Now, I'm a girl, obviously, and I have a younger brother. I have two brothers. My older brother, he never showed really any signs of ADHD. My younger brother did. So him and my parents got us tested in like elementary school. Like we were young. Like so it was, I don't even know, 5th grade maybe I was in ish, around there. And all I remember is I got the tests and all that, and they said because I wasn't hyperactive, I didn't have it. Now, the science today, we're in the year 2026, shows a lot more on females with ADHD, specifically female children with ADHD. They show lots of signs of not being confident, like, self-esteem issues. So when you see a little boy running around like crazy, hyperactive, automatically people think, oh, this one's got ADHD, right? When I was tested, like I said, they told my parents that because I was not hyperactive, but I had all the other symptoms, my grades were terrible all throughout school, like terrible. When I tell you, I just struggled through school. I actually graduated high school a little bit late. I'm not proud of it, but I did. Because, oh man, I could be here forever. If I was just diagnosed correctly, and I'm not even saying being put on medication, because like my parents, for example, were told or were advised by doctors to put my brother on medication. And they did not, they were very opposed to medication, which I could definitely see their reasoning as to why, especially for a young kid. I get that, but the science is definitely a lot different these days. So what I'm trying to say is my life would have been, I don't even know, it could have been a lot different, it could have been the same, but I feel like looking at my brother's life and then looking at my life, he was never medicated or anything, but he had the he had like the extra like time in school, like for tests and all that, and he graduated high school with a Regents diploma, which is like really good. And I just graduated just with a regular, like I said, late. But because of the fact that he had that extra time, and he had an extra teacher, and he had extra help, tutoring and all that, he's doing real well. And I'm not saying I'm not doing well. I'm just saying that I struggled my entire life. If you want to avoid seeing your child struggle, like I said, especially if it's a female, get them tested. Because, like I said, I knew my whole entire life that I had something, and I was depressed with. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and then later on in life, I was diagnosed with PTSD and all that. Because, in my opinion, that all stems from my ADHD. So now, 35 years old, I'm sitting here with my brain hurting, and I'm just like, and I don't want any child to have to go through what I went through. So that's why I almost feel like I have an obligation in a way to make this video, but I know that there's a lot of information and also a lot of misinformation on the internet about ADHD. So do your own research, get a second opinion if you don't believe your doctor, because like I said, God only knows what could have happened if I would have just been diagnosed, but they were convinced because I was a female, and females don't really get ADHD like they don't show the hyperactive symptoms. Blah 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 blah. That's BS. Females show lack of confidence, self-esteem issues. There's a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences between male and female children with ADHD. Okay, so parents, you all have a responsibility, because I know, like I said, I know it's not my parents' fault. They, they got me tested. They trusted the doctors. It's just they didn't have the science back then. And I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, what if? What if? I know I look pretty crazy, but this video was unplanned. Just like, yeah, pretty much everything else in my life. Yeah, so just wanted to give that little PSA. Ta-ta.